Dear friend, every trader faces losses, but not every trader survives them. That's the brutal truth. The market doesn't care about your feelings, your plans, or your dreams. It simply moves. Sometimes it moves in your favor, and other times it takes money from your pocket without mercy. What separates professionals from beginners is not whether they lose or win, but how they respond to losses when they inevitably come. A gambler treats every loss like a personal insult, immediately trying to get revenge. A beginner might freeze, panic, or even blow up his account in a desperate attempt to recover quickly. A professional, however, understands that losses are part of the probabilities. He accepts them, studies them, and resets his mindset to prepare for the next opportunity. This is what I call the trading mindset reset, a psychological shift that transforms loss from a wound into wisdom. When you learn this reset, you stop seeing a losing trade as failure and start seeing it as tuition paid to the market. Mark Douglas once said, "The consistency you seek is in your mind, not in the markets." Consistency comes when you reprogram your response to loss. Dear friend, start building the trader's mindset today. Subscribe now and learn how to bounce back stronger every time the market knocks you down. Losses trigger deep biological reactions. Neuroscience tells us that losing money activates the same brain regions as physical pain. That's why you feel your chest tighten, your palms sweat, and your heartbeat spike when your trade goes red. Beginners often mistake this reaction as a signal to act. Cut now, double up, get it back. But really, it's just the brain's wiring screaming for relief. This is what psychologists call loss aversion. The pain of losing $100 feels about twice as strong as the joy of gaining $100. Imagine a beginner who buys a stock at $50, watches it drop to $48. His body reacts like he's in danger even though no tiger is chasing him, just numbers on a screen. Professionals know this feeling too, but here's the difference. They don't obey it. Instead, they pause, they breathe, they let the initial wave of fear pass before deciding anything. This pause is the first step of the mindset reset. It stops biology from hijacking behavior. Ray Dalio once said, "Pain plus reflection equals progress." The pain of loss is real, but reflection turns it into power. Beginners run from pain. Professionals lean into it, analyze it, and learn from it. That is how the reset begins. But this is gambling psychology at work. Imagine a trader who loses $500. Instead of stopping, he doubles his next position, hoping to recover quickly. More often than not, he digs a deeper hole. Each loss adds emotional weight. Each decision becomes less rational. And soon his account spirals out of control. Professionals treat this scenario differently. They view each trade as independent. What happened before has no bearing on what comes next. A loss does not mean the next trade is more likely to win. It just means the probabilities played out. To break the revenge cycle, pros use rituals. Hard stop losses, maximum daily limits, and journal. By writing down what triggered the loss, whether emotional or technical, they turn chaos into clarity. Alexander Elder once wrote, "The goal of a successful trader is to make the best trades. Money is secondary." Journaling reframes loss as feedback, not failure. This shift resets the mind from desperation to discipline. Revenge seeks relief. Reset seeks results. That's the core difference between gamblers and professionals. Resetting your mindset after a loss requires reframing what the loss means. Beginners label it failure, but professionals label it feedback. Consider this: every trade has two possible outcomes. You either win or you learn. If you followed your rules and still lost, then it was simply randomness, part of the probability. If you broke your rules, then the loss is a mirror showing exactly where discipline cracked. Professionals deliberately ask themselves, did I lose because of the market, or because of me? This single question changes everything. If it was the market, they shrug and move on. If it was themselves, they reflect and fix it. Warren Buffett once said, "Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Knowing exactly why you lost removes half the risk from future trades." Beginners avoid this reflection because it feels uncomfortable. Professionals embrace it because they know growth hides inside discomfort. Resetting the mindset is not about erasing mistakes. It's about extracting lessons. Losses are tuition, and reflection is how you collect the value. That's how pros keep moving forward while beginners get stuck reliving the past. The final step of Part 1's reset is acceptance. Beginners often replay their losses like a movie stuck on loop. They keep asking, what if I had exited earlier? Or what if I had waited long? This mental replay drains confidence and fuels hesitation in future trades. Professionals break this loop with acceptance. They know no amount of regret changes the past. Instead, they protect mental capital as fiercely as financial capital. Once a trade is closed, it is history valuable only for the lesson it teaches. Paul Tudor Jones said, "The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense." Defense means not only protecting your money but also your mind. The Mindset Reset ends part 1 with a clean slate. The loss is acknowledged, the lesson is extracted, and the trader's emotional energy is reset for the next opportunity. Dear friend, start building the trader's mindset today. Subscribe to the Trader's Mindset channel and learn how to defend both your capital and your confidence. Losses will never disappear, but your ability to reset ensures they never control you. The reset truly begins when you shift from reacting to planning. After a painful loss, most beginners rush back into the market, desperate to fix their account balance. But professionals know that jumping straight back in is the worst thing you can do. Think of an athlete after an injury. He doesn't sprint onto the field the next day. He rests, reviews, and rebuilds his strength. Trading is no different. The reset ritual often starts with a cooling off period. Stepping away from the screen, going for a walk, or simply breathing deeply until emotions calm. Once emotions settle, the second step is review. Professionals open their trading journal and record not just numbers but also emotions. What was I feeling when I entered? Did I ignore my plan? Did I exit out of fear? This practice exposes patterns of behavior that charts alone cannot show. Mark Douglas explained it clearly. You must learn to think in probabilities, not certainties. Journaling forces you to see each loss as part of the probability curve, not a personal failure. By building this ritual, you transform losses into lessons and lessons into a structured plan forward. Another critical part of the mindset reset is rebuilding emotional balance. Losses don't just drain your account, they drain your confidence. Many beginners lose one trade and suddenly doubt every future decision. They hesitate, second guess, and either overtrade or stop trading entirely. Professionals avoid this spiral by resetting their emotional compass daily. One powerful ritual is visualization. Before markets open, they mentally rehearse scenarios, losing trades, winning trades, and neutral outcomes. By visualizing in advance, they reduce the emotional shock when losses occur. Another tool is affirmations, simple but powerful reminders like, "Losses are tuition, not punishment," or "Process, not outcome, defines me." These rituals may sound small, but over time they rewire how the brain perceives loss. Ray Dalio captured this truth with his principle: pain plus reflection equals progress. Without reflection, pain is wasted. With reflection, it becomes a teacher. A reset mindset reframes loss as practice, not punishment. Beginners collapse under the weight of doubt. Professionals rebuild confidence one ritual at a time. Revenge trading often comes from a lack of boundaries. A beginner loses $200 and tells himself, "I'll just trade until I make it back." But without a stop point, this cycle continues endlessly, usually ending in disaster. Professionals break this pattern by setting firm boundaries as part of their reset routine. They decide in advance, "I will only risk 1% per trade. I will stop trading after 2 consecutive losses. I will never exceed my daily drawdown limit." These boundaries transform chaos into order. They remove emotional negotiation from the heat of the moment. Imagine a pilot. He doesn't decide mid-flight whether to check fuel or not. He follows the checklist. Trading requires the same discipline. Paul Tudor Jones once said, "The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense." Defense is built by boundaries. Without them, trading becomes gambling. With them, trading becomes business. Resetting your mindset means respecting limits, even when ego and fear scream otherwise. A boundary is not a cage, it's freedom, because it protects you from yourself. Stillness is the hidden weapon of professional traders. Beginners mistake stillness for weakness. They feel if they're not trading, they're missing out. But pros know that stillness after a loss is strength. It's the reset button that protects clarity. When you lose, your brain wants immediate action, but the professional mindset is to pause and reclaim control. This pause may be just 5 minutes of deep breathing, or it may be a full day away from the charts. It's not avoidance, it's preparation. Think of a chess grandmaster. After losing a piece, he doesn't slam his next move in frustration. He slows down, recalculates, and only moves when the probabilities align. Mark Douglas emphasized this: anything can happen in the market. If anything can happen, then patience is your shield. Stillness after a loss allows logic to return and prevents fear from steering your trade. Beginners rush back in, professionals pause, reset, and re-engage with discipline. Stillness is not inaction, it's the space where wisdom grows. Beginners try to erase a big loss with one big trade, which almost always ends badly. Professionals do the opposite. They scale down. After a losing streak, they reduce position size, take only their highest probability setups, and rebuild rhythm gradually. These small, intentional wins restore confidence without risking account destruction. It's like an athlete recovering from injury. They don't jump back into full competition, they practice fundamentals until strength returns. Warren Buffett explained, "The stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. Resetting after loss is not about rushing recovery. It's about patiently rebuilding your process. Every small disciplined win tells your brain, I can trust myself again." That trust is the foundation of consistency. Dear friend, start building the trader's mindset today. Subscribe now to learn how to transform every setback into a comeback. Losses don't define you. Your reset. Losses don't just challenge your trading account, they challenge your identity. Beginners often tie their self-worth directly to outcomes. A winning trade makes them feel intelligent, while a losing trade makes them feel foolish. This emotional roller coaster drains energy and erodes confidence. Professionals, on the other hand, know that trading results are not personal judgments. They're simply data. They understand that one red trade doesn't erase their skills, just like one green trade doesn't make them invincible. Resetting your mindset after a loss means separating who you are from what just happened. Ray Dalio explained, "Pain plus reflection equals progress. That progress comes when you stop internalizing every outcome and start treating losses as external signals." Imagine two traders. One loses and spirals into shame, telling himself he's not cut out for this, while the other loses and calmly writes in his journal, "Followed my rules, the market just disagreed." One shrinks, the other grows. Identity-based trading creates fear, process-based trading creates freedom. Your reset begins the moment you remind yourself, I am not my last trade. The long-term edge in trading comes from patience, and patience is the direct antidote to the impulsive energy of loss. Beginners want to recover instantly. Pros understand recovery is gradual. Patience after a loss doesn't mean sitting still forever. It means allowing your edge to reappear naturally instead of forcing trade. This is why professionals track probabilities across hundreds of trades, rather than obsessing over one. Each trade is just one data point in the long series. Think of a casino. Individual hands don't matter, but the house edge over thousands of games ensures profit. Professionals adopt the same mindset. They focus on long-term expectancy, not short-term relief. Warren Buffett said, "The stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient." Patience is a weapon, especially after losses, because it prevents desperation. A reset mindset trains patience like a muscle, through waiting, through resisting the urge to jump back in, through trusting that another valid setup will come. Beginners burn out chasing every candle. Professionals grow wealth by mastering the art of wait. Discipline is the shield that locks in the reset. Without discipline, every emotional wave pulls you back into gambling behaviors. Beginners think discipline means trying harder, but professionals know discipline is about building unbreakable systems. These systems act as guardrails, protecting you when emotions run hot. A disciplined trader predefines stop losses, sets maximum daily drawdowns, and sticks to one strategy instead of chasing every shiny setup. This structure makes the reset permanent, because even when fear or greed whispers, the rules speak louder. Paul Tudor Jones famously said, "The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense." Defense is discipline. It means protecting both capital and psychology. Imagine a trader with no rules. Losses will always spiral into chaos. Now imagine a trader with a rigid checklist. Even if he takes 3 losses in a row, his discipline ensures survival. The reset is only real when it's locked in by systems. Without discipline, you relapse into gambling. With discipline, every reset becomes a foundation for mastery. Confidence is the natural outcome of consistent resets. Beginners look for confidence in winning trades, But that's fragile, it disappears with the next loss. Professionals build confidence from their process. Every time they lose but still follow their plan, their confidence strengthens, because they prove to themselves they can act consistently under pressure. This confidence is not arrogance, it's quiet trust in one's Alexander Elder explained, the goal of a successful trader is to make the best trades. Money is secondary. When you reset your mindset correctly, confidence is no longer tied to outcomes, it's tied to execution. Imagine losing 3 trades in a row but still feeling calm because you know you didn't break your rules. That's professional confidence. It cannot be broken by a red day because it's rooted in self-trust, not market randomness. This kind of confidence is like compound interest. Each disciplined decision builds on the last, until you have an unshakable mindset. Confidence becomes your anchor, keeping you steady when others panic. Dear friend, we've reached the most important truth. Losses will always be part of trading, but they do not have to control you. What separates gamblers from professionals is not the size of their wins, but the strength of their reset. You've seen how beginners let losses spiral into fear, revenge trades and chaos, while professionals pause, reflect, reframe and rise stronger. The reset isn't about forgetting the loss, it's about transforming it into fuel for growth. Mark Douglas reminded us, you don't need to know what will happen next to make money. You only need the discipline to follow your edge, and the mindset to reset when setbacks occur. Trading mastery isn't built in green days, it's built in how you handle the red one. Will you let losses define you, or will you use them as stepping stones? Dear friend, start building the trader's mindset today. Subscribe now and join a community committed to transforming pain into progress, chaos into discipline, and losses into lifelong mastery. Your bounce back begins here.